Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Public Facilities Commission meeting. Before us this morning is the Boston Transportation Department. Seamus?
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you. My name is Seamus Hyland. I'm an Assistant Corporation Counsel in the City of Boston Law Department, filling in today for T.T. Lee, who is the Chief Legal Advisor for the Public Facilities Commission. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast live. Before we get started, I will ask Colleen Daly, the Public Facilities Commission Secretary, to take a roll call of the meeting participants.
Thank you, Seamus.
Colleen, if you would conduct the roll call.
Sorry. Thank you, Seamus. Please unmute your device and confirm your presence when I call your name. Beginning roll call with the Commission. Larry Mamoli, Commissioner.
Present.
Donald Wright, Commissioner.
Present.
Seamus Hyland, Assistant Corp Counsel, PFD Law
Present.
Department. Catherine Pendleton, Article Clerk.
Present.
Violetta Paniatova, Paralegal.
Present.
Next with the Boston Transportation Department, Vineet Gupta, Director of Policy and Planning, Boston Streets.
Present.
Charlotte Fleetwood, Senior Planner, Boston Streets.
Present.
And Melissa Ryan, Project Manager, Planning and Permitting Department, AECom.
Present.
Thank you, and this concludes roll call.
Thank you, Colleen. The first order of business before you this morning, Commissioners, concerns draft meeting minutes for the minutes for the November 19th, 2025 Public Facilities Department and Mayor's Office of Housing meetings. Is there a motion to approve these minutes via roll call?
Motion to approve via roll call.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioners, when I call your name, please note your vote for the record. Commissioner Mamoli?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The meeting minutes for the November 19th, 2025 PFD and MOH meetings are hereby approved. Now to begin the agenda this morning, we have Vineet Gupta, Director of Policy and Planning, Boston Streets. BTD has one vote request on the agenda today. I will read the vote on the agenda, and there will be a presentation following by the named individual. At the conclusion of the vote presentation, the Commission may make a motion to take a vote via roll call. If that motion is approved, Clerk Daly, the PFC Secretary, will conduct a roll call for each Commissioner's vote on the record. Vote number 1 is being presented by Charlotte Fleetwood, Senior Planner, Boston Streets, and Melissa Ryan, Project Manager, Planning and Permitting Department, AECom. Vote number 1 is a request for an order of taking for permanent and temporary easements located on Walnut Avenue at Ruthven Street, Westminster Avenue and Cobden Street, Crawford Street at Holworthy Street, Monroe Street at Humboldt Avenue, all in Roxbury, for the Ellis Elementary Safe Routes to School project. Charlotte and Melissa, if you would please present vote number 1.
Thank you for the opportunity to present this project. Does the PFC staff have the presentation, or should I share my version?
We have it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the Ellis Safe Routes to School project is a project that the city received a grant from Mass DOT to do traffic calming in the vicinity of the Ellis School. But one of the reasons that they selected this grant is because there are quite a few schools in the area. So there's also the Higginson Elementary School, there's the Trotter Elementary School, Boston Latin Academy, Bridge Boston School. So there's a lot of youth and students who walk on these streets on their way to and from school every day. So this particular project addresses 6 intersections as shown in red on this plan. And what we're doing is traffic calming, so sort of standard traffic calming techniques. If you wouldn't mind going to the next slide, we can go through them quickly one by one. So at Ruthven and Walnut Ave, we're anticipating a raised intersection, and this will, vehicles will need to slow down as they approach Ruthven Street. Similarly, Westminster Avenue, a raised intersection, and both of those also have curb extensions, so we'll be able to create better, more directional and accessible crosswalks in these locations. Next slide, please. Similarly, Walnut Ave and Cobden Street, 2 raised crosswalks in this one. And then the next slide, please. the intersection of Walnut Ave and Crawford Street. So there'll be some curb extensions to tighten up the intersection, reduce the distance of the crosswalks, and make the crossings just generally safer and more accessible. Next slide, please. Abbotsford and Crawford Street, we'll be doing a curb extension with a rain garden in the center. The Office of Green Infrastructure will maintain the rain garden, and this will create a much shorter crossing across Crawford Street, or across Abbotsford Street. And it will also slow drivers who right now can, Abbotsford is a one-way street, Crawford is also a one-way street, so the people approaching Crawford can make that turn very quickly right now. It's almost like a highway ramp. So this will force drivers to slow down and be able to see pedestrians crossing the street. Next slide, please. And then the last one is at Humboldt and Monroe, Humboldt Avenue and Monroe. There is a bus stop in this location. There was tragically a child who was killed when they were crossing the street in their mother's arms. So this is a very, it's an important location. There's a lot of students who actually cross in both sides of the intersection. Right now, there's only a crosswalk on the sort of page left side, so we'd be adding an additional crosswalk, but making that priority crosswalk on the left, which leads to the bus stop, raised. So with that, I'll turn it over to Melissa to talk about the right-of-way needs for this project.
Thanks, Charlotte. Before we get into the individual easements, I'll give you an overview of the process we've gone through. We started this project in the beginning of this year, and in order to facilitate the construction that Charlotte just described, we need to acquire 8 permanent easements and 21 temporary construction easements. Those easements are over 17 privately owned parcels and 2 parcels owned by the City of Boston through the Mayor's Office of Housing Department and the Boston Public Schools. Permanent easements will bring back of sidewalk into the city layout so the public can pass and repass on a uniform and standard sidewalk width. Temporary construction easements will facilitate the construction, giving the contractor access to do that construction work in front of the property owner's property limit, and then also to grade and loam and seed as a result of the sidewalk reconstruction. And the intent of the work on the temporary construction areas, easement areas, is to return the property to the current conditions today. So this project is funded through Mass DOT with federal funds, and as such, we need to adhere to the federal requirements and regulations under the Uniform Act, and also the state requirements through the processes established by the Mass DOT Right-of-Way Bureau. These processes require us to acquire these easements via eminent domain, and it has established a standard outreach process that we've engaged in. Our outreach process consists of multiple contacts via phone, mailings, email, and in person. The first mailing that we sent out, and all mailings are sent out via certified mail return receipt requested, was the introduction package. The introduction package introduced the project to the property owner, sent them the plans, and gave them the federal aid acquisition guide, which outlined the property owner's rights under the federal regulations and the state guidelines through Mass DOT. After the introduction package, we engaged 2 appraisers. We had a certified general appraiser appraise the easement areas, and then we had a second certified general appraiser review the first appraiser's work, and they both came to concurrence on the amount of offer. As a next level of review, the City of Boston Assessing Department has also reviewed the appraisals and concurred with just compensation amount. And then after the appraisal process was done, we mailed out the offer packages, which explained the easement values for each easement, gave them an overview of the process that we did, and also included a summary report from the appraiser by way of the just compensation report. So to date, we have 11 sign-offs from property owners, and I can go over these easements now. So here's the first one, 346 Walnut Street. This is a permanent easement E1, and this area is needed to be brought into the city street layout. Next slide. Across the street here at 31 Hilton Terrace, the contractor will reconstruct the sidewalk, but need access to the private property owner's land to facilitate grading and loam and seed. Next slide. At 3 Hilton Terrace, this is a very small backup sidewalk temporary easement. The contractor will need access to this area to facilitate sidewalk reconstruction. Next slide. This is here across the street. This very small area shown in yellow is the area of E2, permanent easement. We are bringing this area into the street layout. This is the area that is needed for the curb ramp. Next slide. Here at 297 to 297A Walnut Avenue, E3, again, backup sidewalk area that is being brought into the city street layout. Next slide. The second easement at this location is for grading and loam and seed. The contractor will be reconstructing the sidewalk right up to the property owner's property line, and then we'll need to step on the property, and then they will regrade it and loam and seed, bringing it back to existing conditions. Next slide. At the next property, here at 291 Walnut Ave, the sidewalk will be reconstructed, and this will require the contractor to remove the fence, well, portions of the fence, and then they will have to regrade and loam and seed. Next slide. At 275 Walnut Avenue, this is the property that's in the care and custody of Mayor's Office of Housing. Right at the back of the sidewalk, this area is being brought into the city street layout. Next slide. This is the adjacent property, again, the back of sidewalk being brought into the city street layout. And then next slide, the second easement is a temporary easement, and this small area is required so that the contractor can step on this area and facilitate the sidewalk reconstruction. The next property is on Harrishoff Street, owned by the City of Boston through the school department. Again, there's 2 easements here, one for a permanent easement, bringing the back of sidewalk into the city's control. And then the next slide shows the temporary easement, which is a very small area, just giving the contractor the right to step on the private property to facilitate sidewalk reconstruction. Next slide. 286 Walnut Avenue, it has 2 temporary easements. Temporary easements are required for access to facilitate the sidewalk reconstruction and that post removal. So you can see here TE19, and then the next slide shows around the corner TE20. Next slide. There's TE20. These are all relatively small sliver easements. Next slide. This is 163 to 165 Crawford Street. The first easement here is a permanent easement. Again, bringing the back of sidewalk into the city street layout, but also in the lower left-hand corner, you can see that little triangular area, which is also needed for the curb ramp that's right in front of that. Next slide. So the next 3 slides show the 4 temporary easements that are in front of this private property, just giving the contractor the right to step on the private property to facilitate the sidewalk reconstruction. So here's one, TE15, next slide. TE16 and 17, and the next slide is TE18. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. 71 to 73 Humboldt Avenue. This is a temporary easement to facilitate sidewalk reconstruction. As a result of reconstructing the sidewalk, the contractor will need to regrade and then loam and seed this area of private property. Next slide. At 62 Monroe Street, there's two easements, the permanent easement, which is a very small triangular area of this backup sidewalk that will be brought into the city layout. And then next slide shows the temporary easement. Again, because of the sidewalk reconstruction, the contractor will need to access this area to facilitate the construction. The fence will not be removed. The next slide, please. At 67 Humboldt Ave, again, area of a permanent easement that's being brought into the city sidewalk and street layout. And then to the next slide shows the other area of the building where the contractor will need access to construct this new sidewalk. Next slide. 65 Humboldt Avenue, and then actually the next three slides, 63 and 61, all are for sidewalk reconstruction and facilitating grading and loam and seed. And that is actually the same for 59 on the next slide as well. And the last property is 40 to 54 Hazelwood Court. Two easements, a temporary easement, TE6. This is for grading loam and seed, and then the sidewalk reconstruction. And the next slide shows TE24, which is for access for facilitating sidewalk reconstruction. I don't think I mentioned, that was the last of the property slides. I don't think I mentioned that the temporary easements are taken for 5 years, period of 5 years, which allows for the contractor to schedule his work and complete it in a time that aligns with the easements, so that we don't have to go back to the property owner and request an extension of these easements. That concludes my my overview for you guys. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them for you.
My compliments, you managed to avoid every single wall
Yep.
in the entire design process, so good job.
Thank you.
Other than that, I don't have any questions. This seems straightforward for this project. Commissioner?
No, just want to commend you guys. Great presentation, very thorough. I do have a question around 291. I did notice a tree on that site. You did mention that there was going to be the fence removal. Is there a thought or any ideas around salvaging that tree for that tree canopy on that homeowner site? You may not be able to speak to that now, but I did want, there was a robust tree on that site that I just had a little concern with removing.
Sure. I'd have to look at the right-of-way plans to answer that question, and we can get back to you.
I think I can answer it though, because I
Great.
think there was a question about accessibility around the tree root, and the designer was going to use a flexible pavement to make sure that we have what we need and that we can do our best to protect the tree. So our aim is to protect the tree, and I think we would just be impacting it on the part that encroaches on this city's sidewalk.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner?
A motion to approve via roll call.
When I call your name, can you please note your vote for the record? Commissioner Mamoli?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just need to double check to see if, okay, thank you.
Okay. Vote number 1 is hereby approved. And this concludes the Boston Transportation Department's agenda for today's meeting. Is there any further business, or is there a motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting?
Motion to adjourn this portion of the meeting.
Second.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I wanted to add my thanks as well to, Commissioners Mamoli and Commissioners Wright. Good to see you guys. Thanks so much.
Jenny. Good to see you as well.
You're talking about the 3 old-timers?
Yeah. I suddenly realized that there were 3 old-timers running the show. Good, Larry, it's good to see you around.
This portion is hereby adjourned. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye now.
Thank you.